at home first. I did it at home first, but then I got to talk to a friend of mine who happened to be a radio guy. Okay. So I went to his home, and he had some machines and stuff.
Yeah.
And he mixed up the voices for me, the voiceovers, using my voice. I'm just like, I told you I'll be back. You know, I mean, I'd have had everything done myself. He pushed them together for me. Had a sound guy, a friend of his, made the sounds for me of the machine gun. Because I'm literally telling this guy, directing him what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I said, can you make some robotic sounds for me as if I was searching the room? You know, how about me making some mechanical steps? I need something thunderous. I need something that's going to attract your attention.
Yeah.
I'm going to load my weapons, you know. Give me something I can do. I'm like, you know, like piecework this. And it came out. It came out so good. It was like, look at this.
Classic.
But here's the thing. You're going to try this. You're going to call these guys out, and you never beat them. How you going to look?
15th place. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, wow. What an Olympia that was, though, Vince. I mean,
God, it was great, guys.
How was your mindset against Lee Haney? Did any of you guys think you could beat Lee Haney?
Me, never.
Really?
Absolutely never. Wow. When I met, before I even got to be an amateur, when I ran into Lee in Luxembourg, he was guest posing. And we were talking then, you know, I was the first time I got a chance to see Lee. I drove down there, man. He came out the little club room. He was on stage. I'm standing in front of him, like, oh my God, like Arnold says, like God standing there, right? And I'm like, that's Lee Haney. Couldn't even breathe. You know, I couldn't even breathe when I'm talking to him. So we spoke a few minutes, and I was just fired up.
Aura.
And when I saw Lee, and then when I finally got to take the journey with me, I'm sitting in Berlin in 86 and 87. I'm looking at magazines talking about Labrada and Gaspari and all the guys, you know, this is crazy stuff. And now here it is 89, I'm on stage with them. And this was like, whoa. And when they told me I made it to the Olympia, well, the best of the best was going to be, I'm like, damn. Now, you going to beat Lee Haney at the Olympia? I'm like, no. But I'm going to a ball because I got invited. This is going to be awesome. And knowing Lee Haney, 8 times Mr. Olympia, 7 times at that time, the question for me was, I don't care how many routines I would make or how good I felt about myself. Look at what you're trying to do. You're saying you're going to dethrone Lee Haney, beat that guy. What about you is going to do that? Just because you turn pro, that don't mean you got the tools, right? So it's weird to me that any guy, Sean Ray and I used to go about around, and sometimes I hear him conversating. Sean's a good friend of mine. And when I hear Sean say, you know, I never go into a competition thinking I can't win. I'm planning on beating Lee Haney at the Mr. Olympia. And I would look down the line, and a lot of these guys would say the same thing. I'm coming to win. I'm coming to win. I'm like, how? So no, for my question, my answer is this. I never thought I would beat Lee Haney. I never tried to beat Lee Haney or anybody else. I just knew that whatever I bring to the stage, the judges was going to make their own opinion. So I was cool with all that, you know.
Vince, there's 2 contests I want to talk about. I love it. The 1991, is he drinking his Coke? 1991 British Grand Prix.
I loved it. I loved it.
I love it. Remember the 1991 British Grand Prix? Tell us about that, because you went up against Dorian Yates, who obviously you'd placed just behind, one spot behind the 1991 Olympia in Orlando, Florida. Tell us about that show.
The journey to that show, we were doing the tours. And I remember Albert Beckles, good friend of mine, when I met Albert. He was telling me, and 2 things happened there. Wayne was telling me one thing. Well, you know, we're going to go see Dorian again. And I'm going like, well, you know, he won the Olympia, but I hear he's fat now. He's fat and happy now. He's home chilling while we on the tour. And but again, I don't care who's there. I'm just coming to compete. You know, I'm trying to win that little money. So when Dorian showed up, he wasn't in shape. He was not in great shape, and that's what I saw right away. But I do know you're not going to beat the just current Mr. Olympia.
No, 1991, 91 Grand Prix.
Oh, I'm sorry, 91.
91.
Bring it back. Okay, gotcha.
Go back
pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. When we got there, I'm thinking to myself, all right, you know, the guy's huge. They want the guy to, you know, he's good. You know, no question about it.
2 and 3 from the Olympia, wasn't it? 2 and 3 from the Olympia.
Yeah.
No Haney.
And I don't think I had any. I didn't have what I needed to beat him then. So I'm not going to do any damage in England when I get there. Okay, that was my thing. I'm just going to go have a good show.
Yeah.
But when I saw him and how he looked, I didn't think he looked all that great. I thought I could have got him. But only reason I thought I could have got him was the fact that he used the rounds that we use to judge symmetry, muscularity, posing.
Yeah.
I could get 2 of those rounds, okay? He's got great muscularity. He's a big man, and everybody sees muscle, muscle, muscle. Granted, I said when we come down and get into our aesthetic look and shape and balance, I think I got better shape and balance than he does. I should get the nod in that one. When it comes to the posing, I know I'm going to kill him in that posing round, so 2-1, you can't beat me. But I knew that wasn't going to play out like that. So so when I got when the crowd went off and went crazy like they did after I finished, and to me it was like, you know what, that's as good as it's going to get. Because I wasn't gunning for anybody, never would, never had, and it just cookie crumbled.
I'd really love to talk about this Grand Prix as well, because that that was a very special one. Because Kevin Levrone, I'll just give some facts. 1992, it was won by the British Grand Prix was won by Dorian. Kevin Levrone was second. 93, Kevin was third. 94, Kevin was second. 95, I think he kind of assumed he was going to come in and win it because there was no Dorian. You just took 5th place at the Olympia. Kevin had been second at the Olympia to Dorian Yates. So I think he was rightfully so feeling very confident that he was finally going to win the British Grand Prix. And then you showed up.
Exactly. Because see, when I saw Kevin moving like he was moving, of course, I thought he was, he's definitely slewed in to win this thing.
Yeah.
But my training had sidestepped. Because I was no longer feeling I was going to be super competitive in that age with these guys right now.
Yeah.
I was looking to move on. I'm already almost 40, going on high 30s, okay? I'm the old man out there. So these young lions was biting pretty hard. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I wasn't training to be that guy, but I was just training to maintain what I was doing. We got to, we came to, on the tour, we got there. I was looking pretty good, but I did not think that I was doing enough adjustments to tighten up like I wanted to.
Okay.
And I tightened up that night, and we came out there. I saw Kevin was kind of washed a little bit, and boy, when we hit it on stage,
showing up,
we threw down.
You got ripped glutes.
And I love.
You got ripped glutes there, mate. You're looking in pretty good shape to me.
I'm telling you, I've never had glutes before.
Yeah, that was because I remember because I was thinking, right, Kevin, because I was a big Kevin Levrone fan, and I'd been there 92, 93, 94, and I was like, come on, Kevin, you got to win it. And then, and then you kind of came along, and it was a decisive victory. It was a solid victory. It was a fantastic one.
Kevin couldn't believe it, and in fact, after that show, I snuck out the back of the auditorium and shot to the hotel.
And you know what? I don't know whether you probably won't remember this, but in 1997, the British Grand Prix, the one that Kevin did win, that's when he shaved his head and he supersized. I was there covering the show for Muscle Mag for Robert Kennedy.
Okay, yeah,
so
Bob.
I was doing the photographs and the interviews, and there was one big main room, and you had Chris Cormier, there was Charles Clermont, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, Lee Priest, Charles Claremont, and they were all getting
Terry Pastel.
Paul Dillette. No, Terry Pastel wasn't at that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love how you remember better than
I told you.
I could tell you what you weigh, how big your calves were. This is why I'm doing what I do, Vince, because I just it's a head full of useless knowledge otherwise. And there was that one main room, and I remember Chris Cormier was doing some chin-ups on some scaffolding, and everyone was just kind of milling around. And I thought, where's Kevin? Where's Vince? So I went up one of the corridors. I went to corridors, and there was a couple of dressing rooms, and there was just like, and there was a really dark corridor, and there was this one little spotlight with a mirror. Anyway, I walked up, and it was you. You were there. You had your Cybergenics cap on. And your sneakers, your shoes, and you were hitting some poses, and I said, Vince, let's get... And it was too dark. I mean, the photos didn't come out very good, but you just kind of hit a couple of poses, and I was like, oh! And then that's when I saw Kevin Levrone, and there was Sean Davis in this one. But, I remember, I was like, wow! It was just, it was a really, really fantastic memory,
Speaking of other memories, behind you there, that's the Master Olympia titles.
That's my girl.
I remember as a teen watching these shows. The most scandalous event I've ever seen in bodybuilding.
2002.
It's the way they screwed you. Time they didn't bring you the titles. Wayne DeMille, like did you ever punch him, knock him out? Was there ever a moment where? Can you go back in time a little bit? What was? Can you? I'm still upset to this day. It's scandalous.
I can feel it.
Yeah, that was probably the section of my bodybuilding career which turned me against wanting to be bodybuilding anymore.
Right.
Okay. For some reason, and I do not know until today, I still don't know. There was some sort of mark on me, I would say. People probably look at me and go, like, well, Vince, why would you say that? I say, well, because an incident went down and I got blackballed. I would say I didn't get no press recordings no more. Didn't get no contract from Weider. All kind of things were happening. Only because it started back when, what exactly date was that? We were getting ready for the Mr. Olympia. Arnold Classic, I'm sorry. I got a call one morning from Joe Weider. Now, mind you, I'm not that bodybuilder who's voiceful. I go do what I have to do. You know, I'm not in California. I'm in Miami. So I'm just like, keep that West Coast. You can do what you want to do. I'm down here. So we were asked to – back up. I flew out to do a photo shoot with Roberto Fox and Mohammed Benaziza.
Wow.
And my wife. Okay. And we were at Joe's place and we did a photo shoot and we left. Okay. It was fine. And I never talked to Joe a lot. I mean, I don't know Joe. We never knew Joe that well. It was when I said, hey, Joe, how you doing? He would call me JJ Marsh. Hey, JJ, how you doing? He always called me somebody else. So it's okay. That's fine.
Oh, no.
Totally different physiques.
So you just saw a black guy and said, hey. Like you with the...
I'm not...
Oh, yeah, shut up.
Okay, yes.
Got a story here.
Okay.
So we were having a great time, and we left and came back and everything. And it was just before the Arnold Classic. And Wayne D'Amelio called me and says to me, the contracts are going to be issued. Joe waits until after the Arnold Classic to give you a contract. I'm like, okay, cool. So you got to sign your contract, bro. I said, well, I'm going to wait until next year, after the show before I sign it because I want more money. There's a big stories behind that anyway. But the core of it was I'm going to not sign this contract. So this is going before the Arnolds that Kevin won, and I got second.
96.
So what happened? Even at that point,
94. 94.
At that point, it was all right. So we had to schedule a photo session, which we do photo sessions behind the screen every show at the event. All right. For some reason, they wanted me to fly out to California 10 days before the event and then come out. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mess my preparations up. I'm planning on winning this show. Yeah. I've already won it. I'm planning on winning it again. Kevin's going to be in out here. He got a torn pec. So Flex Wheeler's not competing. So this is mine. So I'm like, okay. So when Wayne called me up about that contract, I said I wasn't signing it. And he was going like, well, you know something? If you don't sign that contract and the competition's close, the judges could go with the guy on contract.
No.
Right?
He said that he said it.
Yeah.
He told me that. And I'm thinking, oh, Wayne, I get it, but I'm not flying to California. I'll do the photo shoot after the show. Ain't gonna worry about it. Well, Vince, Joe likes his photos. Well, whatever. Left with that. So we get to the show, and it was crazy because I felt, honestly, 100%, I won that show. There was no question in my mind I did not win that show. And toward the end of the show, when I was backstage, always hiding in the corner, it seems like, in the Arnold Classic in Columbia, there's behind the stage a curtain. There's a small little opening that you can just stand back in. And I was standing back in the pump-up room behind that curtain. And Leverone was laying on the floor. And we had just did the prejudge and night show. And everybody was saying how tight it was close. But Vince looked like he's got it. Yeah. This looks crazy. And the thing about it was they were telling me, Vince, to nail this, all you need to do is pose. I'm like, wait, guys, I'm bringing out the Terminator routine to Arnold.